Hello, welcome to our writing equations from real life graph. So just a reminder, we are still writing our equation in the slope-intercept form. Our slope represents the rate of change and the y-intercept is the initial or starting value. Okay. For our examples, we will be looking at graphs and then not so much with the word problems anymore. Okay, so in this problem, you are asked to write the equation and the slope, find the slope and y-intercept and write the equation of the line. And then there is a question about getting the mean temperature of Earth in degrees and Fahrenheit. So given in this graph, you need to look at what's in the y-axis and what's in the x-axis. So the y-axis represents centigrade, and then the y-axis represents the Fahrenheit. Okay, so take a closer look to what's given to you. So here, because we are given 2 points, then we can now get the slope using the slope formula. Okay, so this is what I did. I did the y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So I replace the y sub 2 by 86 minus 32, which is the y coordinate of the second point, and then, or the first point, and then I did the same thing. The x coordinate of the second point, 30, minus the x coordinate of the first point, which is 0. So now 86 minus 32 is 54. Divided by 30 minus 0 is 30. I used a calculator and I got 1.8. So now we know that the slope is 1.8. Now, do we know what the y-intercept is? Yes, we do. The y-intercept is the point that touches the y-axis. So we know that y-intercept is at 32. So we now know our slope and the y-intercept. So now we can write the equation. F, which is the Fahrenheit, is your y. So y or F is equal to the slope, which is 1.8. X multiplied by x, I represented x by c because the x-axis is represented by the centigrade, plus the y-intercept, which is 32. So that is our equation of the line. Now we can solve the problem by using the equation that we created or wrote. 1.8, I replaced centigrade by 15. How do I know that it's 15? Because it is given here that the mean temperature in centigrade is 15 centigrade. Plus 32, then I multiplied 1.8 by 15 added by 32, which will give us 59. So the 15 centigrade is 59 degrees in Fahrenheit. I can also make sense of my answer and check if I may be correct by following the graph. So I'm going to look for 15 centigrade at the x-axis, which is between 10 and 10. I will draw the line going up, straight line, and then go find out what's the value here at y-axis. So now if I continue and draw another straight line horizontally, then approximately we are in the right value, which is 59. Okay, so that's how I make sense of my answer. Okay, let's have another example. Okay, here's another graph. Here the graph does not say so much about what it is in real life, but because I have a sentence here that describes the graph, says that it shows the height y in feet. So I know that the y-axis is the height in feet, and then the x of a flag, x seconds. So the x-axis represents the time in seconds. A flag x seconds after you start raising it up a flagpole. Then find and interpret the slope, write an equation of the line, and what is the height of the flag after 9 seconds. Okay, so we now know what is the y-intercept. Y-intercept is the point along the y-axis, so that should be 3. And now we can also get the slope because we are given 2 points. Let's use those 2 points to get the slope. Okay, I do 6 minus 3. I subtracted the y coordinates, and then 2 minus 0, x coordinate down below. That is 3 out of 2, which is the same as 1.5. We now know the slope and we know the y-intercept, so we can build the equation of the line. But first, let's interpret what the slope is. 1.5, or the slope, is the rate of change. That means it's 1.5 feet per second. So when they are raising the flag, the velocity, or the distance, the speed can be 1.5 feet per second. Okay, so now we can build the equation. Y is equal to, the slope is 1.5, x plus 3. If I replace the variables using the real life description, y is the height, and then x is the time by second, so I replace it. H is equal to 1.5t plus 3. Now, the question in C is, what is the height of the flag after 9 seconds? So I know the time, which is 9 seconds, so I can replace t by 9. So height is equal to 1.5 multiplied by 9 seconds plus 3, which will give us 16.5 feet. So at 9 seconds, it's at 16.5 feet. Now in our graph, in the previous graph, I was able to check it. Here, it's more difficult because I cannot extend. If I can extend the graph, yes, I will be able to check my answer. So I know that at 6 seconds, it's almost 12. So it should be bigger than 12. That's how I can make sense of my answer here. Okay? So after this, you now go to ManageBac and then find the activity Virtual School, writing equations from real life graphs. And then you are now going to be assigned to a team in your breakout room. Okay, so work with your teammates to solve 3 problems. Thank you and bye.